Hello everyone and welcome back to another session of Dark Souls 3 PvP and another weapon showcase. This time I am using Lucerne, which is one of my favorite halberd class weapons in this game. It's not one of the more common ones, and there are a few reasons for that. I'll get into that a little bit down the line, so let's get started with the basics. This weapon requires 15 strength and 13 dexterity in order to wield. It has a D scaling in strength and a C scaling in dexterity, and its physical base damage is 252. Now, this is a weapon that, like I said, it's not overly common, especially in comparison to the weapons in its class. Reason being, it's a little bit shorter than most of the other weapons in the class, and its attack rating is a little bit lower. So, why would I like this weapon so much? Well, that's related to the fact that it works with the Leo ring, and it works with it incredibly well. Now, this is a weapon that has thrusting attacks, believe it or not. Despite how the attacks actually look, if you actually look at the end of the weapon, it makes sense that it would be a thrust. Now, that's not anything special, that's not anything that's different with Lucerne in this game, it's just something a lot of people don't seem to really realize. So yes, it does work with the Leo ring, it does work with it well. It's already been well established, we'll just move on from there. A few things with the weapon that I would definitely consider pros, though, aside from the fact that it works with the Leo ring, would be standard halberd class pros. You have a decent amount of hyper armor when two-handing, you have a decent amount of range, you can do some pretty good damage, and you can get some nice little combos with your skill involved as well. And really, that's about it. There's nothing too terribly unique with the weapon, aside from the fact that it's going to be a little shorter, it'll rely more on counter hits, and it'll work with the Leo ring. It's a pretty straightforward weapon. There's nothing too terribly unique about it, and it does make it a little more of a challenge to use, especially if you compare it to the other more damaging weapons in the class. A lot of people see it and they think, well, why would I bother going with Lucerne when I can just go with the Black Knight halberd and deal more damage without having to really try as hard? And, you know, they're not wrong. There is no huge reason to go with this over the others. It's a preference sort of thing. And the jumping attack damage can throw people off. They'll be like, oh yeah, I can totally just go for this hit trade, I'll probably win. And if you go for that hit trade at the same time, well, that might change things with Lucerne, but if they're used to how much damage you deal from you using a Black Knight halberd or something like that, maybe they won't be as willing to take that risk. It happens on occasion. So, cons of the weapon, like I've said, it's going to be a little bit short in comparison to the other weapons in its class. Not a huge con, because it still does have a very good amount of reach to it. It's going to have a little bit less damage, but again, like I said, the Leo ring will mitigate that. It will make up for it in a large way. So, really, the only major con that I can think of, aside from those two things, is that the charged attack when two-handing, it's kind of difficult to get Leo ring counters on that, simply due to the fact that it's a multi-hit attack, and you guys know how I feel about multi-hit attacks. They leave a bit to be desired, they make timing for certain things more difficult, namely counter hits, and that's not necessarily a good thing, especially considering the majority of the damage comes on the second swing, not the first. So, because of that, it is more of a challenge. And that's not a huge deal, but I'd like it if it was a little bit different. Maybe if it didn't have the double hit, maybe if it was just a spinning single hit, something like that. Maybe you did like a fake out with the first and then an actual hit with the second, something like that, I don't know. Either way, it's not a big deal. So, overall, fun weapon, good weapon, I really enjoy this thing. And I don't have too much else to say about it. It's been pretty much a standard since Dark Souls 1. Nothing's really changed too much with it. So, it is what it is at this point, guys. Either way, though, there is one fight left after this one. I hope you all enjoyed the video, found it helpful in one way or another. Please like, subscribe, and all of that good stuff, and I will see you guys next time.